Hi, and welcome to today's episode of The True Show. I'm Leslie Lambert.
And I'm Nick Gelfand. Today we start with a new trend, it seems like. The foreign buyers are coming back and buying houses in the United States. It possibly could be one of the reasons could be, of course, the downturn that caused the prices to lower.
Right.
And according to dataquick.com, we have a list of the top 10 markets where the foreign buyers are buying. Now, this is them taking public records and creating, this list. The majority of them tend to be, I notice, are in Florida. Number 1 is Lakeland Winter Haven. Number 2 is Cape Coral. Number 3 is Orlando Kissimmee. 4 is Bradenton Beach, Sarasota. 5 is Miami, which is no surprise to me. 6, Phoenix. 7, Manhattan. 8, Honolulu. 9, Tampa. St. Petersburg. And 10, Las Vegas.
Yeah, so 6 out of the 10 are Florida.
Yeah, actually, and they also said...
European snow bunnies.
Absolutely. I mean, they're... Obviously, the prices have fallen quite a bit in those areas, yes, specifically because their economy depends on tourism, and they're also beautiful places to be.
Yeah, there's some great deals to be had in Florida right now, so I'm not surprised that they're taking up on that. And so it's a small portion still of the real estate market. And a study from NAR, the National Association of Realtors, said that total sales totaled 1.07 trillion in the 12 months up to March of 2011. And of that amount, 7.7% were foreign buyer purchases. So it's still, but it was $82 billion, and it went up from $66 billion the year previous. So it's showing a trend on the rise with that investing from the foreign markets.
Absolutely, and every little bit helps, in the housing world. And it is interesting that now there's definitely a demand internationally for the U.S. market, which I think is a good thing. An interesting a part of that study as well, that it said that basically 4 states accounted for 58% of the entire international sales in the U.S. with, as we mentioned, Florida. Florida's 31% of it, California 12%, Texas 9%, and Arizona 6%. So I'm not sure why Springfield, Massachusetts is not on here.
Where are foreign buyers at?
A couple of days ago, it was 90 degrees.
It's tropical in Western Mass.
Absolutely. And we have the beautiful Connecticut River.
Well, listen, all kidding aside, I actually think Western Massachusetts is truly one of the most beautiful places in the earth. So,
and I agree.
So
absolutely.
You're here from other parts of the world.
Absolutely. My family moved here from Russia years ago when I was 11 years old. So, certainly my parents would be foreign buyers.
Right.
And they settled here. But unfortunately, we didn't quite make the cut here.
No. Well, so interestingly enough, foreign buyers or otherwise, there's an increasing trend for real estate buyers to use mobile technology.
Absolutely.
And no surprise to me, because it seems to me that, I don't know the statistics off the top of my hand about how many people have smartphones now, but my mom has an iPhone.
Right.
So, it's a growing trend that's not generational anymore. It used to be the hipsters had the iPhones, and now, the moms have the iPhones. So everybody's got a little mobile device in their pocket. I think the numbers must be huge at this point of how, and the buyers are using these smartphones and their mobile technology. More than 2/3 of prospective buyers used a mobile device in their home search. And according to a survey by the advertising book called The Real Estate Book. And I think that that's really important information for buyers and their agents to have, because that tells you straight out the marketing needs to be mobile ready. You have to have mobile enabled, internet based marketing for your home, because if 68% of the buyers are using that as their probably main search device, you better be there.
Absolutely. And we've done a previous show on QR codes, and this kind of obviously falls into that same trend where we're a mobile society. I would have to assume that these numbers include tablets as well.
Yes, it did. Yeah, it's
so
smartphones and tablets.
Absolutely. So it's one of those things where that's where technology is going, and you have to be on the cutting edge of it. You have to, you have to understand that it's easier. For both you and I, we have the smartphones, we have the tablets, and it's just easier when we're in the car, we're in an appointment or somewhere to use that time to surf the web. Or
we're all on the run.
Absolutely.
We're all on the run. We need our information where we're at, and we're in the car, we're running our kids to their functions and waiting for them to finish dance class or soccer, and this is the way our lifestyle is, especially the generation that's probably most likely to use the mobile devices.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and basically your sign in front of your house as a real estate, it kind of used to be your mobile advertising. But what I find is people don't necessarily call on the sign as much because they'll get the information, they'll look at your sign, they'll look it up on their smartphone, and then they'll have the inside photos and everything they need. And the good thing is when they do call, they have an interest in the property.
Yeah.
But you do get a lot less browsers, so that sign is no longer that one tool that we have.
Right, exactly. So you got to be there. So we've got the top 10 leading, playing off of that mobile trend here, top 10 real estate apps according to Alexa.
Alexa is basically ranks, kind of like Hitwise, they just ranks search engines and anything like any websites out there, including apps. And as far as real estate apps specifically go, Alexa says Zillow is the #1 app. Consequently, it's also the #1 real estate website. It is, the most robust, the coolest. It has the most stuff in it. #2 is Trulia. #3 is Realtor.com. And then it's Redfin and HomeAway. And HomeAway is actually not for real estate sales. It's more for vacation rentals. But it does round out the top 5 of apps that are according to Alexa.
So if you're looking for a mobile app, you might want to consider trying one of those out. Cautionary tale, as always, with those aggregate sites like Zillow and Trulia. Sometimes their Zestimates and estimates are really more like
shot in the dark.
Yeah, consult a real estate professional for a true accurate pricing of a property, whether you're a buyer or a seller, because they're not always even in the ballpark.
Absolutely. And if you are real estate professionals, these are the sites you need to concentrate on.
Yeah.
Throw your marketing dollars that way.
So I've been on a few appointments over the last few months with people that are working on getting ready to sell their home, and I've noticed a trend where, this is a perennial trend, but it just sort of sprang up because there were several people in a row for me where they're very emotional about the selling of their home. They've been there, they've loved their home, they've been happy there, and for whatever reason, usually a pleasant reason, remarrying or retirement or downsizing, whatever, but they've decided it's time to move, and they have mixed emotions about the whole process because even though they want to make a next transition, they've been so happy in that home and they have all these memories. And so I've spent a while now talking to them specifically, but also I've written a couple of blog posts about it now, about how you can sort of work through those emotions and get yourself into a place where you're looking at your property as a commodity instead of your home, And so I'm sure you've got some tips. One of the biggest ones that I gave them is that you need to depersonalize and neutralize the space for sale anyway, because the buyers don't want to see all of your personal, doll collections or travel tchotchkes.
Thimbles.
Yeah, spoon collection, whatever, and personal photos. So it's time to take all of that down and pack it up anyway. And that's a good trigger, I think, for people to start changing their mind about the space that they're occupying. Instead of it being a home and a sanctuary for all your special things, it's now a house that you need to get ready to sell so that you can, it's an investment too. This is the hard thing. It's probably one of the biggest investments people have, but their emotions are all tied up into it. So depersonalizing is one big step that I recommend to people to help them take the emotion out.
I think the first step is the most important one, and the one that they obviously did in your case is they bring in a professional, somebody who is not really, does not have an emotional connection. They may have a relationship with the seller, an emotional relationship, but they don't have a connection to that space. That's what real estate agents do. We're brokers, essentially. We will help bring in the buyer, and we kind of help you not think of it as a personal space. We can literally talk you through the situation as somebody who is totally unbiased.
Yep. Another tip I give them is that oftentimes houses need to be painted, even if they're already neutral, just to freshen up a fresh coat of paint, painted a different color than what you're used to. You know, something that your agent recommends is a good neutral color, but something different than what it's been for you, and rearrange the furniture, which half of the time needs to be done anyway. From a staging point of view, you usually need to edit and make sure things are out of the flow of traffic so the rooms seem more comfortable when we're showing. So, you know, some of those can be really good triggers, physical triggers, to create that emotional distancing so that you can get through it. Now, it's still going to be hard, you know, no matter what you do. But, you know, those are a couple of tips that I recommend that can help you to start triggering that emotional distance so that you can negotiate on your property without too many of the emotions of your, you know, history in the home.
Of course, and having somewhere to go to also, I think, might make it a little bit easier because there's that, you know, light at the end of the tunnel. There's a new place that they might be excited about. Maybe it's a maybe they're retiring or moving away somewhere nice. Maybe they're moving closer to their grandkids or whatever it might be. If they're starting a new point in their life, that is exciting as well. Although you're closing one chapter, you're opening a new one. So for me, emphasizing that new chapter, I think helps them in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah. And in closing, the last thing I want to share with our viewers is Nick and I are very proud to be part of a Realtors Association. You know, we're both members of the National Association of Realtors. Here in Western Massachusetts, the Realtors Association of Pioneer Valley recently took some money that they had fundraised for tornado victims from June tornado of last year. They had taken care of all the things that their immediate fundraising goals had been set up for, and there was a little bit of money left over. And so they, in conjunction with a landscaper, offered to re-tree the community. So anywhere that had been hit by the tornado, people that had lost trees in their yard had a short window of time to apply for a tree. And these were not little dinky twig trees. These were full size, like you could pick if you want flowering tree, maple
the choice
tree.
Of several trees.
There was a bunch of different choices, and people could choose what kind of tree that they
and where
would
to
like.
put it on their, you know, you literally mark the spot, and then that's
they came and a free tree was put into your yard to help the, you know, and so the idea was just to try to help heal the scarred landscape.
And I think it was several thousand trees, right? It was a couple of thousand trees that.
Yep, throughout any community from Westfield to Brimfield, anywhere in that swath that the tornado hit. And so I had several people in Westfield contact me that got trees, and very happy that, you know, I'm part of a community that's able to reach out to the public and do something good to help heal the landscape after a rough event like that.
Absolutely, and you know, and we're closely approaching the 1-year anniversary of it. So it is nice the way the community came together, first of all, initially, and you know, we continue to support you know, tornado victims because, you know, it's not their fault that it happened to them.
No, and it's a slow recovery.
And it could happen to any one of us. You know, people live, you know, across the street got hit by a tornado, and then they were not. So, and certainly there were some recent tornadoes in other parts of the country, so our hearts go out to those folks.
Absolutely. Well, that's today's show.
Thanks for being with us. My name is Nick Gelfand.
I'm Leslie Lambert.
And this is True.